For the last several international tournaments, the United States has been in search of a striker. Who could it be? Who's the answer? Josh Sargent, Jesus Ferreira, Ricardo Pepi. We have so many options to choose from, an embarrassment of riches almost. Or do we? We've already made a video about why Josh Sargent does not need to be called up and does not deserve to be called up to the United States men's national team for the World Cup 2022, given his current form. I would like to propose a better solution, a better idea, and I'll give my opinion on why and how this player deserves to be called up to the United States men's national team. Welcome back, guys. Thank you for joining me here for another episode of our Why series. Today, I'm going to talk about why Jordan Pefok needs to be called up to the United States men's national team. Given that he plays for the BSC Young Boys in the Swiss League, there aren't a ton of stats out there. So I can't give you the same numbers that I did for Josh Sargent. I can't give you the same numbers I could even for Ricardo Pepi. Given that he's in a smaller league, the numbers just aren't there for it yet. But I can go through some of his accomplishments over his career and why I think he deserves to be in a starting position over Ricardo Pepi and why he hasn't been given that so far. Let's get into some numbers here. This year in the Swiss Super League, he had 26 starts over 29 appearances. So he only got subbed off the bench 3 times. So he's made 29 appearances so far. He's averaged about 73 minutes per game. He's gotten Team of the Week 8 times during this year. He's scoring every 111 minutes, so just about once every other game, which is a pretty good stat. You know, you see the elite striker scoring every 60 minutes, which is really incredible. You know, Lewandowski, Haaland have some of those numbers, but really 111 minutes, that's once every game in a little bit. One game and about 20 minutes in, he's scoring a goal. So about 0.7 goals per game. He takes 3 shots per game with one of those shots on target. As you remember from our Josh Sargent video, the really good strikers in the world take about 4 to 5 shots per game. So if he's getting those shots, he's getting the opportunities. So he's making those shots. He's only missed 8 big chances, which is a lot. He's got about a 22% goal conversion rate too. Goals from inside, he scores all of his goals inside the box, though. So he's a really clinical target man finisher, which I think would be perfect for Greg's system. As we've discussed, a lot of Greg's play consists of Serginho Dest, Brendan Aronson, Anthony Robinson, Timothy Weah charging into the corners, charging into the outside boxes and either whipping a low cross or floating a ball in. Jordan Pefok is an excellent target man finisher. He can finish inside the box. In fact, that's all he does is exclusively finish inside the box. So he's not somebody that we're going to really want to play through. He's not somebody that we're going to want waiting on the outside of the box, but that's perfectly fine. We don't usually have a lot of success playing through Ricardo Pepi. We don't have a lot of success playing through our strikers. We really play around them and cut to the corners right now. So if Greg wants a good fit, and he can't have Daryl DK, of course, that's our good fit, then go for Seabach. You go for somebody who's going to stand on the penalty spot, stand at the back post, stand at the front post, and just tuck one in. He does have 3 assists. It's a fair amount for a striker. So let's break down these goals. 6 headed goals. So he can finish with his head. He's good on set pieces. He's good on those crossing situations. 4 goals with his left, 9 goals with his right. So he is predominantly right-footed. He's also only made 2 big chances. So the fact that he got an assist on 1 means somebody kind of carried him, but that's fine. He doesn't have a whole lot of successful dribbles per game. He's only got about 0.2 per game, which is about 43% completion rate. He does have a 63% aerial duel win rate with about 2.5 per game, which is great. He scored 21 goals this season. That's across 35 appearances as well. So more than 1 goal every other game, which, by the way, is better than Ricardo Pepi has had. He's had 10 games in the Bundesliga so far since joining Augsburg in January and has not scored a single goal. Also, at FC Dallas, you know, he was pretty good there. And at FC Dallas in the league across 31 matches, he only scored 13 goals and assisted 2. So Jordan Pefok is in better form. He's scoring more than once every other game, whereas Ricardo Pepi's scoring about in between once every 2, once every 3. So Jordan Pefok's time between goals is about 111 minutes in the league, and in the Champions League, it's about 170 minutes. That is once every 2 games. Let's remember, in what game did he score his first Champions League goal? In the last minute, when the Young Boys were tied with Manchester United, which, yes, Manchester United don't have a very good team. Yes, Harry Maguire is a crap defender, but he scored in the last minute against Manchester United to win the Young Boys the game that Manchester United were supposed to just walk away with. So he's got these last minute game saving goals. He hasn't been called up to the national team a lot. As of the time of recording, he's only been in about 4 friendlies and scored 1 goal, and he's been in 3 World Cup qualifying matches and also scored 1 goal there. That's not a great appearance. He's only got about 240 minutes played for the United States men's national team. That's about 2.5 games. As we saw in the World Cup qualifiers as well, the most recent window, he only came on as a super sub. If we're judging it based on that, no, he shouldn't be called up. Let's just address this now. He did miss some wide open opportunities and had some absolute howlers of misses. But let's take this into context. He came on as a last minute sub without being able to fully mesh well with the team. He missed several windows, not because of injury, not because of anything else, except that Greg refused to call him up. He would have rather called up Josh Sargent in the early windows. He called up Pepe. He called up Ferreira. He never called up DK after the Gold Cup as well. So I think our 2 strikers that were missing, that Greg wants to add something creative, like a Ricardo Pepe, who's quick, who's 6 feet tall, who we can try and play through. He's trading that off for someone who can stand in the box and finish, which is really what we need. Will said it best in one of our previous videos. Go check out those videos. Who's going to score these goals? DK needs to score these goals. Pepe needs to score these goals because they are target men. One of our viewers actually left a great point. DK is not a player to play through. Yes, he can dribble, but that's not his strong suit. Pepe can dribble, as we saw in the stats, 0.2 a match or 43% completion rate, but that's not his primary objective. His primary objective is to stand in the 18-yard box to hunt down those goals. Let's think about Jordan Pefok's success. What has Jordan Pefok actually done? When he was in the French league, he was playing for Reims in Ligue 2, won them the league with 35 appearances, 17 goals. So he's had more 15-plus scoring seasons than Ricardo Pepe, Josh Sargent, and Jesus Ferreira combined. And that combined number is a big 0, and he's got 2 so far. He then transferred to Rennes, who got 10th and then 3rd that next league. And then in the first year he had at the BSC Young Boys in the Swiss League, he won the league. This year it looks like they're going to get 3rd. They're going to finish 3rd behind Zurich and Basel. Those 3 teams really seem to dominate the Swiss League. Greg absolutely needs to call up Pefok, not simply because Pefok in better form, not simply because Pefok is the better finisher, but because he absolutely needs to gel and mesh chemistry-wise before the World Cup with this team. Call him up in the summer. Give this man some starts. Give him the confidence. The reason that he missed those shots in the most recent World Cup qualifiers, which, by the way, what a piss-poor performance from Greg. Yes, we did qualify for the World Cup, but at what point, Greg, does limp into the barn and barely doing enough not matter? We were supposed to finish first in CONCACAF, and we barely qualified. At the very end, we qualified on goal differential because we couldn't beat Costa Rica, we couldn't beat Mexico, and we barely beat Panama. Absolutely unacceptable, Greg. But you bring in Pefok, you play around him, you give him some match time, you give him some starts, you allow him to build the chemistry, you play around him, not through him. Have him hold up play some, sure, but you build up play around him and then just whip the cross and have him stand a couple steps into the 18-yard box and watch him finish home. You put him on those set pieces. Watch him finish the ball. That's all he needs is time. Time to give some composure, get some composure so that he doesn't miss shots by Gio Reyna setting him up right in front of goal and him beaming it hard right. Just give him some time. This isn't me saying, yeah, all Josh Sargent needs is time too, because that man needs some time on a training pitch in a league where he can actually score some goals and compete. If Josh Sargent goes into the championship next year and outperforms all expectation, has a 20-goal season, yeah, bring him up 100%. If Pepe on Augsburg, if they finish in the league this year and he gets off and starts firing or goes into the 2nd division, starts firing, bring him in. Form over league. Form over league. Because look at Ricardo Pepe. 0 impact almost on Augsburg. 0 goals, 0 assists as a striker across 10 match appearances. Look at Josh Sargent. Very few goals, under 5 goals, in very many seasons that he's played at Werder Bremen. He looked like, had he stayed at Werder Bremen, I think he would have blown up the Bundesliga too. He would have made it into this team, and I would have been perfectly fine with that. Pefok has now had a second season where he scored more than 15 goals and a second back-to-back season where he's had more than 10 goals. And he's played in the world's most elite competition, the Champions League, and scored 2 goals. One of them at least against a very elite team in Manchester United. Give this man some time. Let him mesh with the team. Build a system around him. Allow him to play in the box and just be a target man and poach some goals. I guarantee this man could be the answer that we are all looking for. Thanks again for watching, guys. Thanks for listening. Go follow us on Twitter at FBTN101. We got a lot of great content lined up for you. We're back on the weekly basis grind. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. We are football by the numbers.